Right now, though, Pat Fellows is in studio, not wasting any more of your time, sir. What's happening, dude?
Oh, man, just recovering. Big weekend. Last weekend was great.
How long is recovery from the marathon? Not running it, but running it.
Oh, man, the Louisiana Marathon is basically we start on Wednesday, pretty hot and heavy, and then we finish, we're there Saturday and Sunday. We're there at 4 in the morning and 3:30 in the morning, respectively, and we're there until 6 or 7 at night.
I mean,
and so, Monday is usually put out the necessary things, any fires that are happening, usually little things, and then start the recovery on Tuesday. So, I was telling you, I feel like I tried to do something yesterday afternoon and was just like
zombie
zoned out.
Yeah,
still.
Totally.
But no, it was wonderful. It was great to see the city come together. We had runners from 47 states, I think 5 countries by the time.
Okay.
Yep. By the time it was said and done. So good times, man.
Good to hear on the recap. Obviously, successful on all fronts. But we have you in here today to talk about something a little bit different, and that is the Fresh Junkie Fit Club overall.
Yep.
So tie this into, we're 18 days into the new year.
Right.
Most New Year's resolutions are around health in some form or fashion, right?
Sure.
Getting in shape is a big one, and stumbled across your creation a few years ago with the Fresh Junkie Fit Club. And it is I tell you what, just tell us all about it and how it got rolling.
Yeah. So, I guess it was 2019 was the first year we did it. It was going into 2019, or maybe it was going into 2020. I'm not 100% sure. But
I got in 2020, and you were already up and running by that point. So I think
it was 2019.
Yeah.
Yep. It started out as just me and some of my running buddies. We're gonna, maybe in early 2010s, we did this thing. We said we're gonna run 100 days in a row, 20 minutes a day. And if you skip a day, you can do 2 in one day as long as they're separated by an hour.
Right.
We started posting about it in late 2019, and by New Year's Day, we had 100 or so folks in it. And then now I think it's 1,200 strong going into year 3 or 4, I guess.
4. Yep.
And it's simple. Over the time, it became certainly less about running and more about just consistent movement.
Yeah.
The rules are still the same. It's 20 minutes a day. You can do two in one day and separated by an hour. And if you have to ask me if it counts as exercise, it probably doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, that's usually, if you want to do taekwondo or yoga or walk or ride a bike, over time it's become less about exercise and more about consistency, right?
Yeah. Less about the type of exercise, because I don't really like running all that much.
Yeah,
I
me neither.
like the fact that I try to run, but I'm not good at it.
I get it.
Yeah, but I do love working out. I do love lifting.
Right.
So that would be my outlet most days of the week, and then pick it up with a run on a couple of other days a week, or whether, like tonight I'll be coaching basketball, and I'll get out there and run with the kids throughout basketball practice, so that'll be an hour workout right there. So it's 100 workouts in 100 days. And I think the bigger part of this, though, is when so many people set their New Year's resolutions, they're on an island. They do so on their own.
Yep.
My favorite part about the Fresh Junkie Fit Club is the teamwork. Even though we're doing our workouts by ourselves, people are posting up their workouts, not in like a bragging way, but like
accountability.
It's number one, an accountability way. And I've been off with the posting lately.
That's all right.
Admittedly.
Yeah. I mean, look, I did a big race in September, and at the end of September, and for the rest of the year, I just like everybody else. Like, sometimes you just fall off the wagon. Yeah. A big thing that we talked about this year with starting it, it's the same thing. It is just a Facebook group. There's no cost to join.
Right.
And the big thing, I've been hyping to people this year is like, let's agree to not take 2 days off in a row. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you miss a day, don't worry about it. Don't worry about having to make up that day immediately. But get on the horse the day after. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people resonated with them. It's like, because I said in one of the posts about it, I was like, hey, 2 days leads to 7 days, just like that.
It does.
And so if you agree to, I'm going to do the 100 and 100, and I'm not going to take off more than 2 days in a row, or more than 1 day in a row, I think you're going to be successful at it. And we roll it, right? Like, so April 7th or 13th, I can't remember which, the 100th day, we'll start again.
Yeah.
And then we'll start again, and then the last 65 is the kind of the home stretch.
So I have yet to get 100 workouts in 100 days.
Yeah.
I've gotten in the 90s 3 times, in the 80s twice, and then had some drop off at other times due to injury and whatnot. But like if I post up 93 workouts in 100 days, I look at that as success.
100%. I mean, I have people that are like, they'll say, I only got 74 in or whatever, but the year before I got 22 in.
Right.
Right. Like, so or none in. And so getting to that, whether or not you're doing races, whatever it means to just keep that consistency, that's how you build a healthier life, as opposed to just being, one and done. You'll have people who sign up for a race and they'll train to that race and then they won't do anything again. They'll be just kind of back and forth. And it's about consistency. Like, that's the game.
The consistency is key. And we're at a point in the year right now where you can establish consistency, or a lot of folks start falling off the wagon after week 3. Week 3 to week 4 at the gym, there's a lot more room to, you're not waiting on the squat rack for very long anymore.
No, and I try to remind people, like, these are the weeks that you gotta buckle down and remember what you said when you were off of work and you had time, and and how you figured it out the first couple of weeks. Like, you got to keep figuring it out.
And the other part of this, the accountability part is one thing. The support is another.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about this, though, is when other people are posting, you're genuinely happy for them, and they're genuinely happy for you that you're achieving goals.
Yeah, I mean, there's never been, I can't remember any really negative interactions on that in 4 years.
No,
and that's, for the internet, that's got to be some sort of record, right?
I completely agree with that. That's, for the internet to be that far, making it 3 days is probably a lot.
Yeah, for sure. But look, we base, it's just another piece in kind of everything we do. We do have the restaurant, like you said. Fresh Junkie Racing is the company that puts on Louisiana Marathon. We'll have Mardi Gras Mambo coming up.
Yep.
And February 4th, couple weeks. And we just roll through the spring, right? And then, then we get to summer, and then it gets hard in a different way, right? When it gets hot.
Oh, yeah. Well, but see, that's the part that I like. If I'm going to work out, I want to sweat. I actually don't like it when I'm not sweating, because sweat's like the payoff there.
Somewhere along the way, cold started bothering me worse than hot. I don't know. It used to not be that way.
Well, I like getting home from the gym or from a run or whatever, and just the shirt is drenched.
Yeah.
Because that's a physical, tangible result of your efforts, as opposed to you're getting home and like you could just hang your shirt back up because it doesn't look like you put any effort into it, even though you're like dead to the world at that point.
I have the hardest time. I don't do yoga all the time, but I do it, every other week or a couple times a week. Mm-hmm. And I always want to do more afterwards. I know that it's good for me, but it's that same sort of, you're wired to feel like I need more. But, active recovery is just as important as sweating it out.
Yes, it is. Pat Fellows, our guest. Can you hang on for the last segment as well?
Absolutely.
I want to talk about a few of the other items of surrounding New Year's resolutions, but we gotta hit our break right now. 20 seconds from right now. We're going to check out Your Money Now. Hey, before we hit Your Money Now, I want to remind you that we are headed to Washington, D.C. for Washington Mardi Gras next week. Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing 2 shows a day from Congressman Garrett Graves' suite, as we'll be bringing you all the festivities of Washington Mardi Gras. Right now, here's Your Money Now. Mm-hmm. Sending. Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, look, one of my haters is out today.
Oh, love the haters. That one hater, I reported him like 1,000,000 times, and Twitter's like 8% last week compared to the previous week. Average rate.
I'm off him. Yeah, he says Mornings with Brian Haldane sucks, and sucks is all in capitals. Give us Mornings with Kevin Gallagher and Bill Profita. Well, we had that for a while. And it was not to be. So we'll talk about Fresh Junkie,
okay,
and those who make the dietary health commitments.
I do. I have I've done it. I don't remember how many days I made it on it. I'm a pretty, 90 minutes, I don't want to say was terribly hard from how much, because I was training for something at the time for that. I think that it's anything like that gives you structure is great. I think that one's especially difficult for people. It's like sometimes those things are trying to do too much, in my opinion. And so I look at those things. It's like, can't remember it's like a gallon and a half of water a day. It's like 90 minutes of training, 20 minutes of reading. Yeah, it's 2 workouts too.
10 pages of reading, gallon of water, 2 workouts, follow a diet, and you take a picture of yourself every day.
Yeah. I think that was the thing that bugged me about it is like, hey, like I'm going to go ride. I was training for a race where I was riding my bike a lot. Like if I'm on the bike for 90 minutes to 2 hours, I'm counting it. I'm not doing 2, but they were adamant about, no, you got to do 2 different workouts. I'm like,
well, there's reasoning behind it though, right?
Well, it's their thing, right? Like, I don't care. It's the same as me saying 20 minutes. Like, you can't do 40 minutes and count it as 2 workouts, right? Like, it's just putting some rigor to it. And so I'm all for it, but that's why I kind of just was like, eh.
A lot of people don't like it for that same reason. I think I already technically failed it because I'm like, I'm gonna wait till after my birthday to start.
Yeah.
And like, you're supposed to start. Mentally tough and staying rather than.
Look, I coach kids running, I coach adult things, and 90% of it is all mental. It's like, 10% of it's running and doing the stuff. I say that but like getting them the rest of the way is the mental part. And that's the thing that I probably spend as much or more time. Like, there are no magic workouts. Right? Like, there's stuff that you do, right?
Yeah.
But it's about your attitude going into it and how you're approaching the goals and everything else, that your life and what's going on with all of those things and your past, heck, everything.
Yeah.
That goes into being successful at it.
Yeah. The most effective workout is the one you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right, when I'm running, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, just keep going. I'm like, my body's tired.
but you always feel better after. Every single time. I was writing this morning. My son actually won the 5K on Saturday,
really?
Which was unreal. And first win that he's ever had, and just kind of a late bloomer as a runner. Figured out that he wants to run in college basically in February, and then did what he had to, and he's going to. So super, super cool. But he I was thinking about it, and they wrote an article in the Advocate, and it was just talking about, running in our family. And it's funny to me because I still don't consider myself a runner.
Which is crazy because I consider yourself to be 100% a runner.
Right. But that's just, it just kind of goes to what we were just talking about. It's like, even the person that you think is the runner maybe doesn't consider themselves that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need music I can't have anything in my mind. If I start telling myself how good I'm doing, I'll tell myself how bad I'm doing. Like, I gotta, give me like house music that's just
you run on the treadmill a lot too, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
I've stopped that. So when Planet Fatness closed down on Airline, and they moved, they ceased to be convenient for my daily routine. But I don't think I'm over the YMCA now.
Yeah.
I would much rather run around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Than run on a treadmill.
Yeah.
It just, unless the treadmill is like perfectly balanced and calibrated, it'll bounce around and whatnot. And my knees just start to wear on me because
it's just different.
Yeah. The only thing I like about the treadmill is visually seeing my speed and time. Like, I can up my speed and lower my speed, and
and it forces you to keep it too. That's
exactly
the only thing I like.
Exactly.
We used it for workouts.
But look, I can do all that. I can do all that with this thing right here too.
Yeah.
So
I need like TV, radio. I need like 9 things happening.
Yeah.
I can't run with podcasts. I get too I can ride a bike with it, and I don't know if that's a
856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Pat Fellows sticking around for one more segment. Well, because that's all we've got left is one more segment before we're out of here. Handing off to Moon Griffon, the Moon Griffon Show coming your way next. I'm sure he'll have the latest on Richard Nelson, who has announced that he's running for governor in an absolutely fantastic video that's up on his Twitter. All right, let's move over from the fitness end, which if you're watching us on Facebook Live, that conversation continued the whole way through. From the fitness end for New Year's resolutions to the dietary end for New Year's resolutions.
Yep.
Being here not just from Fresh Junkie Racing, but from Fresh Junkie itself. I'm Brickhouse plus chicken.
Yep.
I'm way too much a creature of habit over at your place.
Love it.
But where do people go wrong when it comes to setting New Year's resolutions to eat healthier?
I think the thing that you see a lot, and all the fitness people say it is, if you're going on a diet, you're probably going off of it at some point, right?
Yeah.
And so it's how do you figure out how to at least incrementally improve what you're doing?
Yeah.
Can you eat salad 3 times a week? Or can you start cooking at home more often, like a home-cooked meal?
Yeah. Can
you cook less processed things? Can you eat less processed things? Can you eliminate, sugar? Those little, what are the things that you can do incrementally that are not a wholesale, I'm going on Whole30 and I'm taking away sugar, grains, you know what I mean? All of these things at once.
As soon as the floodgates are open and you put yourself back out,
it's too much, right? And so, for me, it's helping people figure out how to make the one change that'll stick. It's kind of like working out. Like, I hate the gym. You like lifting weights.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. Like, if that's what you love and that's what's going to keep you going back, do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you like plain chicken and broccoli or hate it or whatever, you know what I mean? If you love or hate one thing, like if you hate that, don't force yourself to eat it. Find something that works. That's
not a punishment.
That's a simple, less processed, less sugar, home cooked. I mean, all those things with more vegetables and good proteins. I mean, it's not magical.
Exactly. And the more you overthink it, the more likely you are to fall off the wagon there too, because you start viewing, or at least I started viewing things in terms of not what am I doing, but what am I depriving myself of?
Right.
Which is detrimental.
And I also think, people get this notion that I'm like this perfect eater that doesn't mean I love crummy candy. Like I will eat Sour Patch Kids till I'm blue in the face if I buy them.
Right.
Okay, so step one is I learned to I'm not going to buy those.
Right.
Because if I know I'm going to eat them nonstop, I'm not going to have that around. So, there's a planning that's involved in it. I try to get people to, so many people skip breakfast, and it's not necessarily a giant breakfast, but something good in the mornings.
He's Pat Fellows. You can check out Fresh Junkie. They're in the Main Street Market and, of course, in the Perkins Road location over there by South Downs. And join the Fresh Junkie Fit Club. There's no cost to it. There's a lot of teamwork, a lot of accountability, and it helps you get towards your goals. Pat, I appreciate you coming in today, man.
Always, man. Let me know if you need me again.
Absolutely. We got to get out of here. Moon Griffon's up next, followed by Brian Kilmeade. Thank you all for listening. You were counting down to 52, right? Yeah, I was looking at the clock for 50, and I was off kilter. So, appreciate you, man. Facebook, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Cheers.